is kind of an interesting bill brought to me by a constituent and with concerns about his daughter who was having serious medical problems, seizures, etc. And traditional therapies were not working at all. In fact, things were getting worse. And you'll hear the story later, but decided to try, after being in a medical marijuana trial, try using CBD oil treatment, and saw that there was some real benefits to that. And you'll see that River has responded well to that therapy and is getting to school, but it's delivering that midday dose is a problem. And so the bill's very simple. I know it's scary, having the marijuana in the title of the bill, but the bottom line is the parent would work it out with the school, come at a predetermined time, meet the child, step into a side room, child would eat a cookie, child would go back to class, parent would leave with any product that might remain and leave the school grounds, and the child would be able to remain in school. This is the bill is about keeping these. It's a fairly small subset of children, 50 or 60 children that could benefit from this therapy, but keeping them in school with access to educational professionals, and so they can continue to develop and grow, and that's really what it's about. And it's a difficult situation we're in, but I think the bill is narrow and has protections for the school districts in there, and I hope the committee will consider it.
I expect we will hear from some school administrators and others in the school system that they would like some additional protections and sideboards put into the bill. Are you open to a few of those things?
Yeah, I think, Representative Schmick put some of those in the House, and two other states are currently allowing this, and this is the law in two other states. I certainly don't want to harm our school system, and so if there are ideas that are needed, I'm open to that.
Okay. All right. Senator Rolfes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a really humanitarian bill. Thank you for bringing it forward. Brian, can you explain, we had a little bit of a conversation this morning about the need for aboard a school bus. Why is that in here?
No.
The bill would allow the use of marijuana for medical marijuana purposes aboard a school bus.
Well, that may be the part of the school day when the dose is needed. And so I would let the school and the parent work that out. And I'm not sure why the school bus, maybe some of the parents could answer that. I certainly want it in a controlled environment. The student would never carry the product with them at all. It would always be with the parent, except when it was dosed to the child.
Senator Warnick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there's other products that parents or nurses have to administer, other medications. Is that correct? So under this bill, it would just be the parent or guardian that did it, not a school nurse or anyone?
Correct.
Just the parents.
And part of that is the part where we're trying to protect the school.
Understand. Okay.
We're in a kind of a limbo situation here between federal and state law on this issue.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and have public testimony on this bill, and we will move into our work session after that and resume testimony on Representative Ortiz Self's bill. So let's first of all bring up Jedediah Haney from Yelm and Sarah Razor from Milton.
Thank you. I'm here in support of this bill. My name is Sarah Racer from Milton. I'm currently a cannabis patient, and I'm also a cannabis advisor for a lot of patients that I've met along the way. One of the patients, this is not mine, but I've come to know is Maddie, who is actually here in this building, here to help support this bill as well. The importance of this bill to me is that there's a silent demographic that's being kind of missed right now, not just the 57 children that are already registered as cannabis patients that really deserve this mainstream schooling, but all of the parents that are scared to register because of complications possibly with CPS or with other legislation that might provide criminal penalties for what they're doing. And I think it's really important to protect parents that are trying to not only save their children, but give them an education so that they can combat the world later. And like I said, I really think that 57 children is just a fraction. I think that there are a lot more parents that would be willing to come out and have that access for their kids better. I'd like to really quickly, if I could, answer at least a portion of your question. If I board a bus, what I can imagine is, as a seizure patient myself, a cannabis tincture is something that, as a sublingual dose, interacts very quickly and can be a rescue dose for my seizures. They have stopped them actually on the spot in public when my husband can administer that dose for me, and has saved us so much hospital visits, damage to my body, and the like. And so I can't imagine that, a seizure patient or a child that has one of those issues who needs a rescue dose might need it on the bus. And just to answer that question. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Senator Rolfes.
Yes, please.
The underlying bill only allows the parent to administer the dose. So the parent would have to be riding the bus. Is that the scenario you envision?
That it is. I do understand that there are some parents that do actually ride the bus with their kids, wanting to help them get the social experience as well, but without having cars in there, so they are allowed to ride the bus with their kids. I don't know if that would be something all parents could work out. I would love if there was a way for children to administer it on their own in a safe way, but I understand where we're at.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you, Chair and committee members. My name is Jedediah Haney, and I am a community organizer and activist. My personal drive for cannabis legalization movement stems from the real-life examples of the benefits of cannabis therapy, examples like young River and Maddie. Since we know that cannabis is effective for a multitude of symptoms, which include epilepsy, we have a mission not only to educate about these benefits, but also to expand safe and adequate access to this medicine. A state-qualified patient deserves safe access to their state-qualified medicine. This will lead to a normalcy of life. I would like to share with you some statistics published in a study by the Cochrane Library Database of Systematic Reviews. The study, titled Cannabinoids for Epilepsy, shares epilepsy is a common disorder of the human brain, accounting for approximately 1% of the global burden of disease. It has an incidence of 33 to 57 per 100,000 persons, excuse me, with a lifetime risk of 1.3 to 4%. In epilepsy, drug resistance is defined as failure to stop all seizures in a patient who has adequate trials of at least 2 appropriate medications. Of those afflicted with epilepsy, about 1/3 will become drug resistant. In these patients, the ability of current medications to stop all seizures is dismal. So therefore, there is a great interest in the development of new medications which have anti-epileptic properties, particularly those agents that have novel receptors, in the hope that helping the patients whom current agents are ineffective. So this bill not only helps our system work better, but also for patients like River, where pharmaceuticals have failed. It will help her gain a normalcy of life. Thank you for allowing me to testify.
Thank you.
Honorable Chair, Committee, thank you for your time. My name is John Barclay, and this is River Barclay, my daughter. As Brian was stating, it's a simple bill. It's an educational bill that would allow me to go into a private place on campus. The staff excuse themselves with a cookie or applesauce or like chocolate milk, and just have her consume it real quick and send her back to class with a kiss. The school bus part that was questioned is for field trips. She likes to go to the pumpkin patch in the fall, so I ride the school bus with her. And if something happens there, you know, I'd have to have the ability, you know. And then the other part I wanted to talk about was the fiscal conservativeness part of this bill. There's 57 on the registry that we know of, last count, but as children register for the registry, the marijuana registry, and they register for school, having them have more than 3 hours of school or as much school as they can, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, as much as they can at age 18 at graduation, the more independent they'll be. The school is begging to have as much time with her as possible because it's a medical disability. They can get her to be self-sufficient. They can get her back to her emotional and learning level, but not with 3 hours. It's very difficult. And any other method to get her this medication I've tried. So I would ask you to pass this, and I would appreciate your votes, and do pass as well. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right, next we will call up Charlie Brown, representing Federal Way Public Schools, Jessica Vavras, Washington State School Directors Association, and Jerry Bender, Association of Washington School Principals.